Hello, my Bibo, my lovely Bibo. So, this reading topic is actually inspired of something that just happened. Just really recently happened. It's just a long story at work. Anyway, so I end up like pointing some kind of reality on someone. On like it just happened with another place, like someone that they refuse to acknowledge because they think that they're expert, because they're an expert in it and they have the title. So they feel like it's wrong for them to, or it's not acceptable that they cannot be an expert in that. They think they're perfect in that. So I had to point something, not directly, but throw some thoughts there. And also made me realize something about other people and something about like what I do, why other people like react a certain way sometimes when I'm so direct, and why do they present it in a certain way. I also realize a lot of things about what's wrong. Like I know what's wrong, what's going on with them, but I just realized something like around, I don't know, it's just a long story. Anyway, so what traits about your personality that you're not aware of? Like could be a positive thing that you literally don't know that you're that good, or you're really good at that, or you have some traits that is very special that you didn't have to do much work to gain that trait. And it's like this is very special, like you naturally can do that, like it's in your personality. Or what traits about your personality that maybe you didn't see because you did not know that you got this bad traits that is kind of holding you back from being better, the better you. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Choose one. What traits about your personality that you're not aware of? People, remember to like and subscribe. We got 5 cards here. Choose one. Let's start by number 1 here. I feel like you do have nothing bad, but you do have that thing. It's not bad, it's just actually positive. But I feel like people maybe present you in a negative light because people always make assumptions of you. Like people always make assumptions of you, or they assume something. It's like you trigger people insecurities, or you trigger people feelings inside you, inside them. It's like something what's inside you comes to surface. It's like you could be very blunt, you could be someone very direct, or you could be someone who speaks the truth, or you speak always something clearly to people, and people just project all over you their insecurities. I feel like you kind of sometimes doubt yourself because there's a lot of people who are saying negative things or negative feedback about your personality, about things that you do. You're like, because you literally can turn to that and be mad, but I feel like you have every right to, but you were the one who got attacked by those people, and those people just want to show you that you are like that. So almost like you trigger people insecurities, especially people who are in denial about things that you trigger in them. It's like you trigger people even if you don't know it, and I feel like people just get in denial about it. They get in denial of that they are the problem. And I feel like you're the kind of person who does that like naturally. I feel something about speak, especially people feel like they cannot speak around you. It's not because you've done something wrong, it's just something in their personality. I feel like it's kind of taking a little bit negative toll on you because you feel like it happens more often, that maybe it's true that I'm a toxic person, or maybe it's true that I'm that person, but I feel like it just happened. You have that natural ability to make people reflect. You have that natural ability to make people reflect to whatever is going on in their personality that they don't want to see. Whether you do it naturally, like just do it naturally, whether you just directly point that or just do something about you reflects a lot of things on people. Like you reflect a lot of things, a lot of awareness, a lot of truth to people, and it can be triggering to other people. This is the first trait that I see here. I feel like you have a trait in you where you encourage people to chill a little bit. Like you don't even know that you're doing that. You could have like a lot of success. You could be a very successful or a person who achieves a lot of things, but you're very laid back. So even if you're not aware of that, people look at you and look how you're laid back, but you're achieving a lot of things, and they take life easy. So whatever you do, you make people feel like life is easy. You don't need to stress, and you can achieve a lot of things, okay? So this is the things that you're not aware of, okay? Hey babies. Number 2, what traits about you that you're not aware of? You're not aware of your confidence. I feel like you're literally not aware of your confidence. Your confidence level can go high, and sometimes you can turn to someone who's not confident, or someone who's like introverted, but I don't feel like you're introverted. I feel like you think that you're an introvert. Sometimes you think that you're not confident. In some places, I feel like you are a confident person, but somehow you doubt you're confident because you feel like somehow you don't want to speak in some places, or you feel not comfortable. I feel like you kind of mix being uncomfortable with being not confident. Someone made you feel like doing that means that you're being confident. Doing that means you're being confident. I feel like you're a confident person, but there's places that you feel uncomfortable at because the people are not relating to you. The people are not speaking the thing that you want to speak, and you don't speak, and you feel odd speaking. It's not because you're not confident, it's just because you don't like that topic. So I feel like there's something about your confident level that you're harsh on yourself, and you feel like you need more confident, more trust in yourself or something like that, but you already have that confidence. I feel like you need some understanding. I feel like you kind of get lost in that subject, in that like thing. It's just like there's a subject. I feel like for some of you maybe it's just one subject. There's a subject that people keep talking about, maybe at work or something like that, and you don't feel like you want to talk, and you don't trust, like you feel like not confident, you don't want to socialize. That's why you feel like you're not confident, but you simply don't want to socialize because you don't feel comfortable, you don't feel understood by those people, and you don't feel comfortable with that. And that is a different thing than being confident. I feel like you are a confident person, but you need to understand, like if you don't want to talk to someone, or you don't want to socialize with someone, or someone, I feel maybe some people telling you like you're not social enough, you're not confident enough, but literally this happened to me, and I'm like the most social confident person on earth. Like I just talk to everybody, but you will see me in some places I literally would say nothing, and then people will be shocked because they will be pointing some things and fingers, and then they will be asking me something, and I'm like poof, like talking like that, and be like, holy fuck, I thought she's shy or something. No, I'm not shy. I'm not interested in gossiping, or people gossiping in a room, or a classmate gossiping about someone else's dress and say, like, I'm not interested to show myself being confident that way. I'm not interested in that or doing that. I don't need to prove myself. So you don't need to prove yourself that you're confident. If you're confident with yourself, I feel like you need to understand that. Give yourself the right. If you don't want to be talking that time, you don't have to. Okay, number 2 is the first trait that you don't realize about yourself, and something that you don't realize about yourself. The second thing that you don't realize about yourself, that you are a very positive person, but sometimes you overthink the situation. Like I feel like you're so positive sometimes. It's like almost like it's hard to believe that, but there's people who are like too positive to the point where it's too negative. So you're too positive to the point where you're not realistic about what bad. So you need to be positive, yeah, but you need to be also realistic. You're not realistic about the bad things. You're not realistic about your emotion. Like, yeah, being positive is great, being motivated is great, but being also realistic is great. You need to have some realistic expectation, some realistic truth. You need to be real to your emotion, what you feel. If you feel sad, not motivated at a certain time, you need to acknowledge that feelings. You need to be the one who's reporting everything to yourself, reporting things in your life, like this thing is not exciting me, this thing is not motivating me, this thing is that I cannot do that because it's not for me, or I could look at it in a good way. If there's good thing, you need to write the pros and cons. Okay, that's what I feel. What other than that you're not aware of? I feel like number 2, there's a lot of your personality that you're not aware of. Number 2, it's kind of like interesting for me because it's like you have some interesting work to do. I know it's like it's a really weird point, like weird thing to say, but I feel like you have a lot of interesting things to do. I feel like you still need to discover yourself, and you have a lot of things to discover about yourself. There's a lot of things that you need to discover about your personality that maybe just with, like, I feel like you don't understand yourself. Literally, number 2, that what you don't understand, that you don't understand yourself. Simply because you're doing those things wrong, like be thinking you have to force yourself to be confident in some areas, or to talk this way, or this is what being confident, or you need to prove yourself, or you need to show that you're confident. You don't need to show yourself that you're confident, and being extremely positive in the things that you really see as negative. This is the thing, it's exactly the same. That's why you don't understand the emotion. You need to give yourself a chance to speak and say if you don't like something, if something is negative, if something is too much and you don't want to talk or continue in it. You need to be realistic about your emotions, then you're going to be understanding better and better yourself. Number 3, what traits about yourself that you don't understand? I feel like number 3, you don't understand that you let me drink my coffee. Number 3 is juiciness. You don't understand that you're a narcissist. Yeah, it is. That's why the first thing here, that you're in denial. You're in a narcissism phase right now. You don't understand. Take this critic to be better. Take that you are in a narcissistic phase where you don't want to apologize because you have some kind of self-esteem and issues and some kind of weakness, and you've been through a lot. You almost went to denial phase because you have a lot of mixed emotions. You have a lot of overwhelming emotion that you don't want to deal with, and you don't want to deal in the negative aspect of you. And most of the time narcissism happen because those people, those narcissists, they don't want to go to blame themselves, because when they go to a harsh place of blaming themselves or being negative, they feel like a failure. You need to find a middle ground, and you need to know how to communicate to yourself. So find a way to communicate to yourself. Find a way to tell yourself how to be better without destroying yourself. Find a way to be loving yourself. Find a way to tell yourself positive things. Then when you start doing that, you're gonna understand, and you're gonna have empathy to others, and you're gonna understand that it's really important for you to admit that you've done something wrong. It's really important for you first than the other person to tell yourself that you've done something wrong. It's really important for your growth. The other person could be doing their growth, you're not gonna affect them. Yeah, you're gonna be mean, you're gonna be a little bit narcissist, but you're destroying yourself. So what you're in denial about, that you're not reflecting at the main issue, is you communicating to yourself. I feel like self-communication, self-thought, self-love here is very critical for you, number 3. I feel like you need to look for a way, maybe research something online, researching technique, how to be communicating to yourself, how to love yourself, how to do that. Gain some skills, how to forgive yourself, how to tell yourself that you're a good person, but also be the parent for yourself. So parent yourself, okay? Number 3, what you don't realize about yourself, that you are a very truthful, honest person underneath all of that. So if you pass through the weak point that you got, and you really do that growth, and you're gonna be that honest, truthful person. You're willing to give a lot of love to someone. You're very loyal, you're very giving, you're very nurturing, and you are protective. You are a protective person. So take those things and put some growth on them. Like highlight that positive things by not being in denial about the problems that you got. Okay, number 3. Number 4, what traits about you that you don't realize? What good and bad traits? Number 4, let me drink my coffee. I cannot. It's worth saying you're adorable, number 4. There's a lot of positive. You're so humble. That's the thing. You're so humble. This is like the first positive trait, and sometimes can turn to a negative with yourself. So the humbleness is very good with other people, but with yourself, sometimes, not all the times, can turn to a negative, because you're too humble to the point where you don't tell yourself that you've done great. I feel like you're great, but you always feel like, I need to do more. I'm great or something. You're humble. Yeah, it's good. You're a humble person. So this is a good trait, but sometimes can turn to a negative trait because you don't tell yourself how well you are, because you don't want to be not humble or having an ego or something like that. But I feel like you realize. But number 4, you do realize a lot of things that are good at yourself. I feel like you're proud of yourself, but you don't tell yourself, you don't give yourself that title of being an expert, of being great at something, until you're 100% that you're good at that. Since like you're 100% good at it, but you're like want 200% to be good at it till you honestly speak to people that you're good at it. I feel like you're a very humble person, and it shows. You don't go to someone and say, I know better. You just tell them something about your experience or something, and this what shocks people, like your knowledge. Like you don't put it on paper, you don't put anything there. I feel like what you don't know about yourself, that you're a shocking person. So people get shocked. Like this is the good trait about you, that people get shocked when they know things about you. So they see you as the humble person, because they're like, how the fuck, like you're hiding all the knowledge that you have underneath. I feel like what good about you, people like the life that you live. You're very inspiring to people. This is a good trait about you. I feel like maybe you feel like, oh, I'm not doing anything, I'm just having my coffee in the morning, or going to work or something like that, or just having some breakfast, but you're very inspiring. You have that depressed person who's watching your story, for example, on Facebook or whatever, someone at work, the way you talk, the way you communicate, doing normal things. You could be like sitting doing things. Something about you is very inspiring to others and very positive. It's like, it's good to be around you. This is a good thing that you don't realize. It's like people love being around you. They feel warm, they feel good, they feel like something is there. It's like some angelic something, energy there. They feel like very happy when they're around you. What you don't realize about yourself, this is the most obvious thing. There's a lot of people, you don't realize how beautiful you are, you don't realize how hot you are. Maybe you have some insecurities or maybe don't, but you feel like, yeah, you're hot, you're beautiful, but you're so hot, you're so attractive yourself. I feel like that way you don't realize about yourself. You don't realize about yourself that you got a lot of love from the universe, from, you are a very intuitive person, a very psychic person. That way you don't realize about yourself. Number 5, what traits about yourself that you're not realizing? Number 5, I feel like you're not realizing that you changed a lot. What you're not realizing right now, also what traits about you that you change a lot, that you're a person who can do a lot of growth. You can change yourself and you can change others. What you don't realize, I feel like this is the thing that you don't realize about yourself. It's like you don't realize how much growth that you can build, how much you can change others. I feel like you don't know, you don't believe that you can change others. But by you speaking, I feel like you don't speak much often. But by sharing something, you can change others. By sharing your talents, you can share your talents to others. You can impact others. You can help them also with some kind of knowledge that you have. Where you don't understand and you don't see that you have a lot of traits that the universe or others need those traits. They need you to show them something. I feel like you're very good at changing people. You're very good at making people grow. Like sharing your opinion is very important. What you don't realize about yourself, sometimes your opinion is not in a good place. Sharing your opinion is good, but I feel like sometimes you need to work on that. What you don't realize about yourself, sometimes your opinion is not needed, and you tend to come across as someone nosy, as someone talking too much, or someone like in someone else's business, or you're just sharing your opinion or forcing your opinion on others. I feel like you have a good thing, but try to control that and know better about yourself. I feel like what you don't realize about yourself, that this is kind of negative here, what you don't realize about yourself. What you don't realize, this is something negative here, what you don't realize, that the people around you, they don't like you. They don't like your skin color or the physical appearance or how you look. It's not because you're an ugly person, but there's some racism happening around you. What you don't realize is toxic people or racist people. There's toxic or racist people around you. That way you don't realize about yourself. There's a lot of toxic or racist people. It could be your family member, your wife or your husband, family member, or your family, or anybody like you. There's some kind of crowd. You don't realize how racist and how they're not accepting to you based on your background, color, or ethnicity, I cannot speak, and your religion. So also, what you don't realize of yourself, that sometimes you can misunderstood people, or sometimes you can make assumption of people that are not true. You make a lot of assumptions. So before making assumptions, just read in it more and trust your intuition. You're so far from your intuition most of the time on people, like your gut feeling on people. You're so far from that most of the time. Like you think that good people are bad or good are bad, but you're just, sometimes you confuse that based on your own experience, based on your own feeling, yourself, whatever you feel like when you look at this person, your personal feeling can project on those people. And I feel like, yeah, something about the way you talk sometimes can be harsh to some people who care about you. Thank you for watching, people. Like and subscribe. I cannot speak. Like and subscribe. Remember, if you want a personal reading, you can email me for a personal reading.